Kavon's. Well, Lockter. I had to use my business page, so as you can see, I am a realtor out here in Dallas, Texas right now.
Texas, big Texas.
Do it big, yep.
What's your age?
I am now 30, dirty 30.
30. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And your zodiac sign?
I'm the one of the greatest out, and that's the Scorpio.
Big Scorpio gang.
Big Scorpio.
We're
They
birthday
love to hate us. They love to hate us, but they don't know what to say about us. That's the funny part. Everybody hates Scorpios, but never have a reason why.
Exactly. You know
That's
what?
so good, though.
I think because they be in love with us. They love us.
That's what it is, yeah. But then they say it's us that's in love. Nah, y'all struck on us.
Y'all stuck on us. You know what I'm saying?
That's what it be.
So, Scorpio, do you have kids?
Unfortunately not. I wish. Hopefully soon. Before I'm 35, I hope.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with not having kids. That's good. You want to be married.
Yeah. Shit. I don't know if you want to say married. Like, it's just I'm going with the flow, you know. If it gets to that, cool. But I don't feel like it has to be a marriage type of thing in order for me to have kids with somebody. You know, everybody works differently.
Yeah, that's true. But do you want to be married one day? Or you're like okay with having like I say life partners, like people that's willing to go through every journey with you, every phase in life with you, and not necessarily be married.
Yeah. I think I'm cool with life partners. Like every woman I think I've been in love with, I feel like I could be in love with without having to marry them, if that made any type of sense. You know what I'm saying? I didn't feel like, oh, I have to marry you to show you my love. Like I never felt that. I feel like that's just more of a institution thing that people feel like ties you to that person, but just because you're married do not mean you are tied to that person. That's what divorce is, you know, and I feel like the more you try to force marriage, the less it works for a person.
That's true. I feel you. But what if you meet somebody, Kayvon, that absolutely is like dead set on being married though? Like
the problem is I've never been in that situation, so I can't really give you a response that would sound ignorant to that. So I prefer to just kind of hope that I fall into that situation. Will I consider it? Absolutely. But I just never been even near wanting to propose to a woman in my whole life that I feel like I could do that with. Have I fell in love? Absolutely, or what I feel like the definition of love is. Yeah. But would I marry them? I think it was just always something that stopped me from thinking I will marry them. I don't know. Because again, I feel like there's a separation. Like, what does the marriage really bring to the relationship? Like, that we didn't have prior to it, you know? So I guess that's where I would like to hear people's opinion. Like, what makes the relationship any different now that it's marriage? You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, we tied the knot or we got rings now to match. Like what makes it any different than what the love was prior to that day of marriage? I don't know. But again, I've never been through it, so I never know.
For me, I think it was like security. Like whenever I got married, it was like, okay, like, you know, it's like something that could join us together, and I felt like secure. But although it is,
so I like the response though. But let me ask you something. So, what made you feel more secure after than before? Like, what physically or like mentally made you feel more secure with that same person after than before?
Oh, my phone. Sorry, my phone just dropped. But I don't know. I guess it was, and then it was like how I was raised too. Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? And I was always told.
I know. Trust me. I know.
Yeah.
We know the fam, so I get that.
It's like you got to get married, you got to have children. So, but I will say, I don't know. It just made me feel like we were locked in. Like once we got married, it was like, okay, this is my partner, we gonna be together, we locked in. And then, you know, both of us are Scorpio, so if we feel like somebody got our back, we go hard, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
And then me being a Scorpio woman, I'm just like, okay, this is my partner. I'm a ride or die for this person. And marriage made me feel like that. I think
I got you.
for like a boyfriend, I would just be like, okay, you my man and everything, but you know, like you can pack up and
Yes,
leave
I get it.
tomorrow.
Yeah. Nah, I feel you. But when did you know you wanted to marry him? Like, what gave you that indication? Like, okay, I'm secure enough that I'm gonna give him my all. Like, what was that for you?
Um, for me, I would say Q and I got married 18 months after we met, and it was like,
Mm.
and I have to go. It was a feeling like it was like,
uh,
oh man, he's my best friend. We can do you know, anything together. You know, we enjoyed the same things. It was like he felt like home. It was comforting, and like I was 22 and I hadn't really dated a lot, but I
yeah,
liked the feeling that he gave me. So I wouldn't even recommend that because now at 36, love looks very different to me,
right.
you know, than that
A lot of
22-year-old girl.
people like it a lot publicly now. I feel like people feel like if we can't show our love publicly, like it don't mean nothing. Like if people can't give their opinions about us, it don't mean nothing. I feel like that's why nowadays it's so hard to find somebody. Like they're entertaining the idea of marriage more than really wanting to be married to somebody. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And I think that's what makes it tough to find somebody that you really can truly feel like there for you.
Yeah.
At least nowadays. You know?
And
When I was in high school, I felt like I would have married every high school crush I had, you know. But then now I look at it and it's like, damn, will we have stayed together or will we have been as close as we are now, or will we, you know? So I think I'd rather the relationships I did have at that point that I felt like, man, I would have gave them my all. I think I would rather it where it is now because we're just like, well, damn, at least, you know, we didn't do nothing stupid or waste all those years of the good and then turn it bad. So that's why I'm kind of just good with being single because there's women in my life that I do love that I feel like wouldn't be the same if we forced marriage or
married.
forced, you know, that next level of it.
So let me ask you this: would you ever be in a situation to where you're open to open, or like poly life or like an open relationship? Would you ever be into that?
I don't believe in that. I don't know. I don't believe in that. I feel like that never works. That's just like that never works. It never
Yeah.
works. Like number one, you're not really in love with that one person if you feel like you can give yourself to another. You know what I'm saying? So that's just 100 right there. It'll never work. I don't care how much you say you're not jealous or whatever. I have home girls that get jealous. So what makes the difference on if you have somebody you're supposed to call your partner, but then you're the idea of, hey, let's get somebody else involved. Now, if we mutually agree on that person, I feel like it'll start good because y'all mutually agree. But then there's still always that, well, what if that person starts liking that other more than me? And that's always gonna run in the back of your mind, whether you say it or whether
Yeah.
you act on it. It's always gonna be there, and I feel like that's why I'd never want to try that. And I feel some type of way if my girl tried it and asked me like, what if we get somebody else? I feel some type of way. I'm like, what you mean?
Like I
Like,
ain't put it
what?
out.
Yeah, you know, and then, you know, it could be a joke, it could be whatever, but I feel like that's how a lot of people take it at first. So that's why I think some people get angry at the fact that their partner asked them if they want somebody else. But if it's discussed mutually, it's always everything always starts good when it's something like that. But I don't think it ever ends well, especially when you want to be when you're technically saying you want to be with one person, but then there's another person in the equation. Especially it's a person that's normally newer that neither of you really know. You're still trying to get to know your partner when you're trying to bring somebody in, and then now you have to spend that time or split that energy up, you know?
Yeah.
Because I'm not just gonna keep bringing somebody around we don't know, or you know, or we don't feel comfortable 100%, or both don't feel comfortable around. So I don't know. I never really thought about that far into it,
Yeah.
but
Well, it is like I think it's a trending thing now. So I'm like curious to what people think about it.
it's a
You know what
trending
I'm
thing
saying?
now because people don't like to get caught cheating. So they rather say, well, let me just bring somebody else in so I don't have to say I'm a cheater. I feel like it's like their excuse
Mm.
to get other people involved in their relationship so that when y'all do argue about it, well, you said I can.
Yeah.
Well, you said you was cool with it. I feel like it's just an excuse now. It's not no because remember, we don't always know everything that happens in the background either. So where we feel like it's working out for them and shit, they're beating each other up, arguing every day about it. They're not gonna let everybody see that, and I feel like that's normally what happens in a real relationship. If you're not arguing about the fact, like, why are you not telling me when with another person, this and that, then you're not really in love with that person. You're not really trying to be with that person.
I feel you.
Because I'm trying to make sure, like, you still supposed to be that number. If you even have to doubt that, then I feel like, I don't know.
I feel you. Now, how many kids do you want?
At first, I always wanted, like, 2. If I had twins, I'd stop if I had. I feel like I could do it if I really, like, put my mind to it. I feel like I could have twins. But I always wanted 2, but then after, like, seeing, like, the legacy I wanted to build and the lack of, like, family ties I really have to, like, leaving assets and things to my whoever's next, I feel like that just made me want to just have as many as I could have.
Yeah.
Because I want, like, my family to be able to just, there's always going to be one person in the family that can have my assets or have what I worked hard for. Because I feel like our family, whether it's my side, you know, Matt's side or whatever, like, I feel like we didn't really practice generational wealth enough. And I feel like we take that shit for granted, and, like, it's like a joke to them sometimes. So I feel like we just at an age now that, like, if y'all aren't going to leave us anything, well, then I have to work hard and leave the next person something. Who am I leaving to? My mother? She's going to be probably gone by the time I'm old enough to give it up. So right now it's like I'm leaving all my stuff to my nephews, my nieces, you know. That's technically who I would give any of my assets to, or my sister at that. You know, she's 2 years older than me. So, and most likely I'd leave everything to her and then have her be able to take my will and everything and divvy it up the way I tell her to, basically.
Kids, yeah. But you're gonna have kids.
Yes, I hope so. I don't want to. I'm not against adoption, but I would love to have my own blood first before I even consider that route. I have thought about, like, surrogacy at one point. You know, yeah, I have, because of how bad I really do, and I feel like I told you earlier, I don't feel like I would have to be. I'm cool. I know it sounds weird, like, but I would be cool with being, like, a single father. Like, I'm absolutely fine with that, and I prepared myself to that, whether I fell in love with somebody and had a kid with them and ended up one, or had one I just went blank with the word. You know, had one the surrogacy way, and with the surrogate, and then ended up taking care of the baby myself. I'm down for that. I would still rather be, like, further into my career, like, financially, before I even consider that, but I would consider that because it's still my baby, you know what I'm saying? It's still my.
But I want to tell you, it's a lot of work. But I mean, you would have to have, like, a support system, because you're not gonna get sleep for, like, the first year of that baby life.
Right, I get that, and that's why I want to be. That's why I want to be financially able to, if I wanted to take a year off, when I get back on my feet after the year, it's like I'm choosing to go back to work or choosing to do this, like, it's a choice, like, because I'm comfortable, you know, financially, whether I want to continue working or just live off the money I made.
Gotcha. Now, do you want to tell everybody what you do in Dallas? I know we're on your page, but if you want to.
Yeah, but I can't get to my damn personal page. Yeah, I am a realtor out here in Dallas, and technically we have a company. So I have a real estate company with my sister, and that's a lot of realtors. So we do practice out of Houston and Dallas right now, and I'm going to get my license in Florida. And then once I get it in Florida, it allows me to expand with 6 different states they have an agreement with. So Georgia would be right behind that, and Arkansas. So I'll end the year.
Go, boy.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
Now, if you do meet a woman, does money matter? Do you feel like she needs to bring what you're bringing to the table?
That's always a hard question. If she doesn't, I would like for her to be, like, helping me operate my investments and helping me at least bring the money in, so that you doing nothing would not be an issue. You know, whether it's helping me, like, invest in properties, or you're helping me with your credit or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, as long as you're contributing to our goals, and I help you with yours, you help me with mine, and I don't feel like money is an issue, but I also don't want any anybody who isn't willing to make any, who's just willing to stay at the house and do absolutely nothing. I would prefer a business-minded woman who, whether I assist her through a business or not, like she's willing to at least do it on her own and take my assistance with it, just like I would like to assist her with whatever goal she has. But I don't think money would be a problem, but I think that business minded, like she has to be driven to at least want to help me make it, so that we're all on, like we're even as far as what our goals are for the future.
For sure. For sure. Now, what type of woman are you looking for? Do you have a type?
A type, not really. Like I said, as long as she's like business minded and just, I don't want to say I wouldn't take a woman with kids. I prefer to find one without kids, but it's just so hard nowadays. If they did have kids, I'd probably like limit it to like one kid that they do have. But they have to be willing to want more because, again, I want kids. So I remember we talked about this a little bit about that. So that's kind of what's tougher for me, because I know a lot of them want to have the kids, whether it's 1, 2, 3, whatever, and then they don't want kids further. And I think that's kind of where they drop the ball with me, at least, because I at least want to be, what you call it, like I want to be in the running or whatever, to at least be able to have kids with you. And if not, then that's already just something that can kind of cut the relationship short, or at least say like, hey, we can't be anything further. Like, I like you, we cool, but we just can't get on that next level, because that's just something that I have to put my foot down on. If you were able to have a kid and you're fine by it, living with it, and I should be able to do the same.
Exactly. I do believe that. And I know women that actually get married to men. I know 2 women that did it and got married to a man. They had kids and he didn't have any. And they didn't want to have any. But during the courting part of the stage of the relationship, they were saying that they would. But once they locked in and got married, it was like, oh, well,
that's
you know what I'm
messed
saying?
up. That's messed up. I don't know. But then, but you'll be mad if he divorce you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that would be a grounds for a divorce. That's how I look at it. So, like, that's to be clear, like, up front. Like, if it's a yes, it's a yes. If it's a no, then. And I would hate for them to say yes just to continue the relationship, because you're only going to burn that bridge even quicker when we married, or think of even getting married and then you flip the switch on me. You know what I'm saying? I'd hate you more than me just disliking your decision initially. You know what I'm saying? Don't put that fire in somebody just by wanting their attention for a certain amount of time. That's not cool. Because look how much time he could have wasted on you, when he probably could have found that one that really was fit for a situation.
Yeah. Now, do you have any hobbies?
I'm pretty boring, but I do like, funny enough, I research a lot. I learn. I'm like what my family would call the conspiracy theorist, because like growing up, they were very religious, and I just was kind of just grew out of it as I grew up. So I started researching a lot. So I kind of read a lot. Like, I just kind of try finding the truth of our people, what we go through. So it's like, unfortunately, working, business, like learning just ways around struggling. But if I did have to pick something, I think traveling is one. Like, just going, trying new food, new places. I'm not really like the party clubber type. To just find like a very smooth environment, just where everybody's kind of just enjoying themselves in their little groups, whether it's like a little park or, just like, I don't mind movies and things like that, but I feel like a movie is a weird date to me, because it's like you can't really talk for like a whole hour and a half, 2, and even if you are, I'm like, can you not talk when I watch the movie? So I've always felt like that was a weird date. So like things where we can converse and just feel comfortable in the environment around, like museums, art. Funny enough, I tried my first. I went on this little date like 2, 3 months ago. She took me to we took each other basically to a paint and sip. I like that. shit
That
was
was
pretty
fun.
cool. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was my first time doing something like that, and it was pretty cool. I wish I had the paint with me so I could show you, but I was proud of it, and it was a good time. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's more events like that I like doing. I'd rather do like that smoking, the smoking paint type of thing, but
Uh,
it ain't legal out here in Texas. But I see they have events like that in like Florida, Colorado, and things. I definitely like to travel around and do stuff like that because I'm more of a puffer than a drinker, but I also don't smoke like that anymore either.
yeah.
It's just whenever, like casual, like when I'm with people or whatever. But even drinking, I rarely do. But yeah, that was a good event. That was fun.
That's what's up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you have any hidden talents? You know what? I had a girl on one of my shows, and she could actually sing, but she wouldn't sing.
Yeah.
So,
Funny enough, I used to sing when I was younger. I'm definitely not singing now. But I used to do that, and I never knew it was like really a talent. I just used to do it like in the church plays and all that stuff. And then, everybody I think was a rapper at one time in their life, so I did do that as well. In like high school, I stopped though. I played baseball. People never really think that, and I don't know why black people don't feel like baseball is a sport we should play, but that was my sport. So I
yeah.
wouldn't say that's hidden talent, but no, I don't think there's anything hidden that's just kind of you not expected. I guess that's a good question though, but I don't think it's really hidden talents I got. But people never really guess I was singing until like I would like mimic a song, and like my family would be like, "Damn, you kind of sound like them." Like, but I'm not a singer by far. Like I'm not no professional or anything.
Yeah. Now, will you date a woman that's long distance? Like, you're in Dallas. Would you date someone in Florida, California?
Um, Unfortunately, I would say more no. If it was
Hmm.
Florida, I'd consider because that's gonna be like the second home. I do want to start traveling back and forth with real estate investing and things like that. So if it's a place I'm comfortable with, then I would consider it. But most likely, I would say no. I prefer to be able to like be with the person and not on a daily basis, but at least be able to like when I need you or you need me, we can link. Like not call me. Like it just don't have that same feeling like when you can be with the person, like actually be able to touch and interact with them. That.
Gotcha. Okay. Now, um, we already, are you willing to well, you say you don't want, are you willing to relocate? Like if you did,
See,
you
that's
don't,
different. That's not long distance though. If I was gonna relocate, I'm damn near you got me head over heels. That'd take a lot. That take a lot for me to be like, yeah, let me up in just same way and vice versa. Like, hey, come move to Dallas with me. Like, you damn near had to bring $1 million for me or something like something. Like it was something big that made me see like, yeah, this is something that maybe is worth like if the relocating is a necessity to like further our relationship, you would have had to do a lot to even get me to that point. But yeah, if it got to that point, I would move them to here or I move to them, one or the other. Most likely, I'd move you here, like because this is where I'm trying to do business at.
yeah.
So I would. It just depends on where they live at, but I would have to. It would be like starting over if I went over there rather than they kind of adapt into what I got over here. It just depends on who it is, what they do, and what we really want to do in the next 5, 10 years type of thing. But I'm willing to relocate or have them relocated if it makes sense for us.
That's what's
Mm-hmm.
up. Well, that was my last question. Do you have
Okay.
anything else you want to add? How can they reach
No.
you? How can they reach you? Because I'm going to post this
Oh,
on
okay.
my Facebook. Let
Okay.
them know.
Cool. Actually, let me put it in the comments for you, and then you can. Because I think
Yeah.
it should already be on my phone. Of course, it's not. So, uh, of course, it wouldn't be here. Let me see.
Because they got to reach out to you.
I'm giving my business number.
Business number.
I had my personal number on Google for a while, and now I just get all types of random people calling me.
That's so sad.
So I don't know if they're letting you copy stuff, but I'm giving you where they can reach out and share with people.
Well, I want to thank you for doing it, and thank you for sticking with me through all my technical difficulties
Absolutely.
today.